Chelsea Lockhart with us. Chelsea, let's bring you in. When I spoke to Chelsea, who is the CRM and marketing who is the manager of CRM and marketing strategy at Ochsner Health, I was struck by not only the level of data that she has on patients to what is the largest nonprofit health system in the Louisiana area, but also the ways in which she's using them to do a kind of hyper-personalization. And a couple of the elements really fascinated me. Not only that there's that depth of data, but also the ways in which she's using timing here and cadence. And as we get tight, and I think one of the things that we noticed, especially throughout the pandemic, is how timing really is important when it comes to email communications and the expectations that are being set by other companies, especially the Amazons of the world, when it comes to responsiveness and having that inbox working in synchronization with the rest of your own behaviors and the rest of the messaging really is important. And that's one of the things that struck me when I talked to Chelsea. Chelsea, hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you guys so much for being flexible with me. I feel like I truly had a technology apocalypse earlier, so cannot appreciate Janet and the team enough for making that all work. Thank y'all.
Thanks to all of you. You all make it work because you're all the people who come to this event are great sports, and we really welcome you. And where are you coming from? Where did your internet go out?
Yeah, New Orleans, Louisiana, which is very typical New Orleans living. It's like a Caribbean island. You never know what's coming.
Well, I'm going to let you dive right in, Chelsea. So take it away.
Absolutely. So let me get my screen share set up for you guys here. Okay, so hopefully everything's working appropriately. So I am Chelsea Lockhart. I work at Ochsner Health as we discussed, and I lead our marketing automation and our CRM marketing initiatives. But if you've talked to me in the past year, this is probably what you've seen. And I've been doing everything from, I went on a weird sourdough bread phase. I've seen every episode of Top Chef that exists, and I embarrassingly tried to learn a few TikTok dances, but have since retired, and I will not be trying that anymore. So let's talk a little bit about Ochsner. So we are the largest not-for-profit health system in Louisiana, and we're constantly expanding. So what this means that's relevant to other people is there's a ton of different logos, a ton of different brands, a lot of different regional markets that we work with. We're expanding into the Gulf Coast, and so a lot of different things to juggle from an email marketing world. So in healthcare, I think a lot of industries have been dealing with this for a long time, but now the pressure is on healthcare to catch up. So we know that this is the expectation of our consumers, that they know who I am, that they know everything about me, and especially true that you're giving so much data to your healthcare provider. You want to see them using this data in a way that's really transforming how your care looks. So let me tell you guys how we look at this at Ochsner and from our email marketing. We call it the sort of the Amazon challenge. So our executives and our team see things just like I see, where I order something on Amazon and I get a real-time communication right away. But as a healthcare marketer, all I can think about when I get this is I could never do this with my electronic medical record causing a delay all the way over to my CRM. There's no way. Great idea, but no. Then, they see these other things on sites like Amazon, like promoting relevant services based on past usage of things. Like maybe other people bought this and tried this at the same time. Maybe you'd want it too. Well, I know that we can never serve that up in real time because my call center doesn't have the data to make that connection or power those things. And then finally, other things like recommended services. So we think you're going to like this, or, this is how we know your preferences play out. And I know that from a healthcare perspective, there's a ton of red tape with HIPAA and what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say to people. And so what we sort of took on was this Amazon challenge and how we would help solve it. So we brought in a new CRM, and I'm happy to say that we've made a lot of progress on how we did this. So I'll be talking about how and sort of the traction that we've gained from it. So this used to be us, and you guys probably recognize this from what you're getting from your doctor's offices or your dentist. And it's this siloed experience of I'm going to send out an orthopedics mailer, and I'm going to send out something about test how old your heart is and see how healthy you are. And I know from my system, maybe you have a propensity to need a hip replacement in the next year based on these diagnosis codes that I know about you. Or, maybe you're the right age to need to start seeing a cardiologist type thing. But what we never really put together was that these are the same people. They're getting these messages over and over again from us about different pieces of Ochsner and different services. And so it's truly a siloed experience. So as part of trying to take on that Amazon challenge, we made a true shift to sort of more of a holistic lifestyle-based communication. So now rather than you showing up at your mailbox, getting this mailer and me hoping and praying it's the right time for you to be thinking about knee surgery, I'm talking to you about where you're at in your life. So what you see here is our milestone birthday series. So on the left is a 26-year-old. On the right is a guy who's turning 50. And it's two different conversations, fully holistic about what Ochsner can be working with them in that part of their life. So we're talking to the 26-year-old about scheduling online. You don't have to make a phone call. You can see us virtually. Where the 50-year-old, we're talking more about preventative care. And while this is just one example, I think the true like how to illustrate here is that we made a real shift from sort of these just blast communications to really focusing on engagement-based communications and finding a piece in the customer journey that was either causing friction or we knew people were falling off and meeting them where they are with a trigger-based communication. So honestly, using that business intelligence and really looking at the full frame of what people need in their life cycle of healthcare was truly transformative to us. So how do we do it? What's sort of like the behind the curtain look of how we did all of that? So Ochsner Health is a huge health system and it's a traditional health system. So we've got everything from traditional health records that you would see, but we also are sort of an innovative player in our field. So we have things like pharmacies and fitness centers and a hotel that you can stay at when you're coming to have a procedure. And so there's a lot of this random data living elsewhere that's outside of our EMR. And then we're also have a really robust marketing strategy and digital marketing strategy as well. So things like form fills and tracking web traffic and seeing who's on our site and what interactions they're taking. And so we really needed a way to put all of that together to get a full 360 view. So now what we have is each patient or each consumer within our system has a sort of view of here's all of the different interactions they've had. Here's what their membership at the fitness center looks like. Here's the last diagnosis or last appointment that they had. Here's their preferred pharmacy. And it's all together in one. So as an email marketer, I can pull from all of that to design strategies. And then of course, we're utilizing trigger-based communication across everything that you see here. And on the right, what I talked about with our growing brand and all of the different logos and segments that we have, we utilize dynamic content to really take the lift off of our team of having to make 5 versions of every single email campaign. And so that has really helped us a good bit. So this is our true claim to fame in the healthcare marketing world, is that on a daily basis, our system is automatically sending out about 50 trigger-based email campaigns based on different appointment changes you may have, a diagnosis you may have, a change in your encounter with us. Maybe you've fallen off from seeing us and we're sending things out to you. So this is truly our bread and butter of email marketing these days. So what does it look like? I'll walk you through a full example and sort of give you how we decide what we're going to do and why. So this is Matt Matthews, and he's my hip pain friend that I was talking about earlier. So Matt's looking for a primary care doctor because his hip is bothering him. He gets distracted and starts scheduling, but stops. We're tracking him and we know who he is and he's identified. So we're going to send him an email following up. If he goes to that primary care appointment and then, they say, maybe you should go see an orthopedist, and he doesn't see that orthopedist, we're tracking that. We're going to reach back out with another email about it and hopefully find him at all these points where he's fallen off through his journey and reach back out to him. The way that we decided, let's find people like Matt is truly a mix of business intelligence testing, business intelligence analytics, and A/B testing. So we often, as healthcare consumers ourselves, will go through experiences in our system where we know, hey, my doctor told me to follow up and I didn't, and nobody ever reached out to me again. And so that gives us the idea of let's work with business intelligence to see how many people have pending orders for this thing and haven't been re-engaged. And so then we're running the testing and we're going to see how many people are there and sort of try it out. Then it's a constant iteration of, is this subject line working? Is this timing working of when we're getting it to them? So a lot of nurturing goes into these ideas. And I will tell you, we have a lot of bad ideas too. So we'll think, surely, this journey is a mess for people. We've got to solve this point and reach out to people here, and we'll do the research, and only 3 people out of our million patients are falling into that pool. So it's really not worth the effort. So a lot of iterations of our ideas. So of course, the big question is, did this big transformative shift to this personalized marketing really make a difference? And we're super excited to say that it does. So us knowing when people need us truly shifted our engagement rates. So what you can see here are a few different examples of our trigger campaigns. So one is our imaging order, the idea being that you have your doctor tells you to get an x-ray or a mammogram or a CT scan, and you don't. And it's us reaching back out to you and trying to get you to do that service, and really great traction there. Our new patient welcome is what it sounds like. It's people coming in through the doors for the first time and us introducing ourselves to them. And then again, the milestone birthday series here. So just these incredible numbers of us driving engagement, not only email and digital engagement, but truly seeing them come through the door, which has been tremendous. So of course, email metrics. I know my email people out here love to just see the good old fashioned stuff. So our open rates have had a tremendous shift through focusing on this trigger and event-based marketing and this personalization for people, this hyper personalization. But I think the truer story is in the clicks as well, just seeing people truly take action when they know that the conversation is personal to them. And then of course, we're driving up our encounter rates and our leads, and our team is excited and we're engaged, and it's really boosted our creativity. So I think the true takeaway from our story is that it can be complicated to get personalized. It can come with a lot of red tape, but the proof is here in the numbers of what it does. And then honestly, just thinking of yourself as a patient or as a consumer in your own company's shoes, and finding that journey along the way has really shifted things for us. So that's the basics. So I'll stop here for questions.
Great. Wow, that was really concise. You got that.
Thanks.
So and very interesting. And we do actually, perfect timing, because Tanvi has a question for you. The question is, how is this information about follow-up appointments, imaging fed into your CRM? Did you put together a business case, or for the need to bring in that information into your CRM in a usable format?
Yes, great question. So our entire, most parts of our medical record system, which is called Epic, are connected through our CRM. So we're getting a daily feed of things like appointments or diagnoses, what doctors people are seeing, all of that. Some of that data comes in real time. Some of it comes in a day or so later. What we had before was a system where it took 15 days to get those updates of what was happening with people in their healthcare. And that really didn't work for us. And so we had built an extreme business case of like why we thought this personalization would work and this real-time automation, what the shift it would make. And so having that case for it really helped us get the technology that allowed us to do it. So yeah, long answer, but yes, we connect the EMR to our CRM, and we had to build a case to do it.
Well, so much personalization and so many, I mean, all these trigger campaigns and really the amount of people and the different ages and the different kinds of people and everything. Is it overloaded? I mean, how are you keeping it where it's actually, where you can make it into these workable trigger campaigns and know exactly who you need to reach and when?
Yeah, exactly. I think the business drives a lot of the decisions that we make about when we're reaching out to people and why. So we can have all of these ideas of all these friction points we can come up with, but truly using that business intelligence and that A/B testing of why has really sort of driven, this is the strategy we're going to take. We also know that different operational things will come up. So we'll say, we are having, a major issue with orthopedics volume, or our pediatric service line is struggling. And so I think when that business problem comes to us, the fun has been using the strategy of, okay, what automations can we find to fix this? Or where in the journey can we jump in to try and help, rather than just sort of this awareness-based silo we were stuck in before.
Right. Now, what about experimenting? Did you experiment with different timings? Do your emails need to be sent right away? Does it make a difference?
Yeah, I think it definitely makes a difference. A great example of that is our birthday trigger. So we've actually been A/B testing this one for quite a while to decide, is it better to reach out to someone about their healthcare on their birthday, which is not as fun as like, here's a coupon for something free. Should we reach out to them the day before? Should we reach out to them the day of, the day after, a week after, and really, everything in between we've sort of tested. We've found that before for us is most convenient, but again, I think our conversation is a little different because people don't necessarily want to think about their birthday in the sense of getting older and needing to care for themselves. So we're catching them, before the fun really starts, and maybe when they're still feeling a little responsible about it before the crisis sets in, is my theory.
Makes sense. Well, Chelsea, thank you so much. And just to let everyone know, Chelsea, you're going to be in our roundtable. So if anyone has more questions for Chelsea, definitely you can take advantage there and speak to her face to face in our roundtable. So we'll look forward to that too.
Awesome.
Thank you, Chelsea, again. Appreciate it.
First, thank y'all again.